Hello, everyone. Welcome to our special diagnostics live stream for the spring 2026 software update. So it is truly the power inside your diagnostic tool because that is the software that powers you through the day and to do the various things that you need to do with the vehicles. So there is a large update going on this time. We offer everything that you would expect: timely model year and code scan updates, continually added back year coverage. This time we've added 16 manufacturers to 2025 model year, so that means you full coverage on 2025. 43 vehicle specific content for our 43 manufacturers that are covered in the UK, and 2026 code scan and clear supported for 36 supported OEMs. So that's pretty much all the OEMs that would have a 2026 model year that we would support on the tool. So we add real world experience to OEM level data, and that helps you. That is our SureTrack and our real fix information, right? So that's based on real world fixes, complaint cost correction, that sort of thing. We also include value added features and capabilities such as the service resets and relearns quick menu and the fast track troubleshooting workflow, right? Which is based on billions and billions of repair records and data points. It's a big data set, and it just crunches through them and gives you that consistent workflow in the shop, with one goal in mind: to help you diagnose and fix problems faster and correctly the first time, right? First time fix rate is very, very important. So remember how I said there were multiple manufacturers with 2026 code scan and clear. Wow, can't talk tonight. But here's your list of all the OEMs that are supported on that. So that's pretty much everybody, I think. And then 16 manufacturers with 2025 model year updates. So what that means is, in the last update, we would have done, a segment of the vehicles for 2025. Have all your different modules, your engine, transmission, etc. And then these models here, or these OEMs here, have just been code scan and clear, and now those are brought up on the spring update. So now all of these manufacturers have 2025 model year, full coverage that we would come to expect on those vehicles. So that's pretty wonderful. And as far as growth, right? Massive growth over the last couple of years. So 6,873 new vehicles. That's a 7.9% increase. 800,714 new systems available across the board. 196,176 more PIDs available. And then 18,492 more functional tests available across different brands, makes, and models. So that's a 20% increase just on functional tests alone, right? So that is a pretty huge growth over the last 2 years. There's also been a large amount of growth on a couple other segments of the tool. This is just vehicle communication, but as we go forward, you will be seeing that. Also, security link, right? So we allow access to these secured vehicles that will go through the OEMs. So when you're on current software with no additional charge, you are available to access Volkswagen, Audi Group, Mercedes-Benz, Ford, Volvo, Hyundai, and Kia on the tool itself. And then, of course, through FCA, $60 per year per manufacturer for FCA and Nissan in there, right? So that's what we help you with, right? So the left-hand side is no additional charge. Right-hand side, of course, has that small fee through Nissan or FCA and Ottawa. Talk about SureTrack, right? So that is our experience-based information. So that is hundreds of billions of scanner data points plus billions of shop repair events. Give us over tens of millions in real fix tips, over 1 million fixed hits, and over 600,000 troubleshooter tips that are available to you in the tool. Commonly replace parts graph by code based on mileage, professional technicians that author SureTrack real fixes and fix hits, community fixes from SureTrack community members, and all of this is like having 35,000 shops and 70,000 technicians by your side all day, every day when you're working on your cars. Service resets and relearns. So there's over 4 million service resets and relearns available in the tool. So different combinations of things like, Audi EVAP vent valve check, for example, right? So I would go into this service resets and relearns menu, and I have full complement of resets, relearns, bidirectional controls that apply to the core repair, plus any other associated components that might be necessary in that repair. And like I said, we're up to now over 4 million of those specific procedure informations. And then PID flags. You've been seeing the PID flags for a better part of almost 10 years. 7 million fast track intelligent diagnostics global PID flags available, over 134,000 added just in this release alone, and it's not for just engine and transmission anymore. Engine, transmission, brakes, hybrid vehicles, EVs, tire pressure monitoring, body electrical, and more. All available to you at code specific and specific to the broken vehicle at hand. Looking at a graph to represent that, right? So we were at the end of 2025, we were at 6.9 million, and now in 2026, like we said, we added 135,000. So now there's over 7 million flags available to you in the Fast Track Intelligent Diagnostics. Now this one's pretty massive, especially for a 6-month growth. So there's over 1.2 million guided component tests available in the UK software. And also 223,425 are released in this release alone. So that's almost it's a little over 200,000. I was going to say almost 250,000, but it's well over 200,000 released in just this release alone. So vehicle specific illustrated test procedures to show you where to connect, how to connect, and what the results should look like. And then 70 topic based training courses on the tool itself as well. Now I want to take a look at this graph, right? So this is all the way back to 2009. How much it's steadily grown over time, and this is just engine and ABS. But if we look here, look at that massive jump, right? So that is, in this release, there are way more cars and way more components that you're going to be able to work on that you couldn't work on before. So I think that is just walking through and building this class. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of new stuff. And another exciting new addition is location images, right? So if you've seen some of my webinars before, and in the North America market, we've been doing this project for a couple years. So now we've started adding them over in the UK market as well. So 1,304 location images were added at 26.2. So that's the Spring software. Many components offer multiple images to provide a view of the area and the detailed view of the component. So guidance on where to find it, save time searching, confirmation of what and where you're looking, and have confidence in having the right component. Here's a couple examples of oil control valves there, and there's one for a evap purge solenoid, right? So pretty cool. Here's one example. We're going to take a look at a couple more on this 23 Ford Transit Connect, but this gives us the example of where the engine coolant temperature sensor is. It's over here on that part of the engine, right? So that is a huge win. So as far as guided component test update, this is a massive update, not just through the location images, but also the component tests themselves that are now available to you. So I think that's pretty great. So let's talk about the some specific coverage highlights, and then we'll go a little deeper brand by brand. So top highlights, 2024 and newer Land Rover Discovery Sport, the DMTL pump run. So that's diagnostic module tank leakage. And that allows you to run the pump when you're trying to do evap work. Hyundai ADAS functions, the 2020 and newer i30 multifunction camera calibration has been added. So that's definitely needed for any of your ADAS functions with that camera. New troubleshooter tips. So this is our real world experience based tips. So 2010 to 2013 Seat Leon is a heater matrix tip. 2018 to 18 Toyota Vensis high pressure fuel pump fault tip. And 24 to 2011 Mercedes-Benz SLK 200 mass airflow fault tip. So all good tips, and these are generally going to be something that's a lot of techs have experienced in the field, that this particular ground strap comes loose or what have you, depending on what the problem happens to be. So I think that's some great additions as well. New engine guided component tests. So 11 to 2017 Audi A5 2-liter diesel CGLC. So that's a new engine variant available. And 16 to 19 Mitsubishi L200 2.4-liter diesel 4N15 engines. So those are both new engines available. 2011 and newer Mercedes-Benz CLA 250 transmission oil level check function. So if you weren't able to check the oil on those, now you can. And then BMW 22 and newer multiple models have been added for radar sensors active startup. So that is a relearn for the radar sensors. So also helps with those ADAS functions. Now let's go brand by brand and see what we have. It's kind of behind my head, I think, but there's a little icon there that's going to tell us whether they're guided component tests or whether they are vehicle communication stuff. So Audi, this is part of that massive new guided component test update. 2011 to 2025, various different models, engine codes, and variants. 31 different added components, including accelerator, pedal position sensor, brake pedal, diesel electric throttle control sensor, electric control mod, like the ECM itself, engine coolant temp sensor, etc. Like I said, it's 31 different components. They're not all listed here because they wouldn't all fit on the screen, but a lot of added components. BMW, this is vehicle communication stuff. So 2025 1 and 2 series, new modules, comfort access module, center console, control module, rear light module 1 and 2, and 14 and newer 4 series, targeted illumination left and right. So helpful there. Citroen, parking assistant module for the 2015 and newer C3 Pre-Roll Restyle, 2015 and newer C8 Restyle, and 2015 and newer Nemo. And then the 2015 and newer DS5 added the diesel additive pump module. So it's available now. And as far as the got a component test side of things, 2018 to 25 Berlingo, 23 added components, including all those listed here and more. Like I said, they don't all fit on the page. Ford 2024 and newer Transit Custom added powertrain control module, restraint control module, and ABS system in there. So if you weren't able to work on those systems in the scan tool before, now you can. And as far as got a component test, 2015 to 24 Transit added components including the diesel electronic throttle motor, control sensor, engine coolant temperature sensor, fuel rail pressure sensor. Looks like I put a couple duplicates in there, but that's okay. Turbo boost control, solenoid, etc. So a lot of good new stuff. You're going to see a fairly common theme in between all these different brands where we add them. It's all a lot, many modules or components. Hyundai added ADAS functions across all these different models. So 2020 and newer i30, 2021 and newer Ioniq 5, 2017 and newer Ioniq, 18 and up Santa Fe, and 16 and up Tucson. And you can see what we have there: blind spot, front view, and multi-camera. And as far as Hyundai component tests, 50 new components added, including things like the AC pressure sensor, accelerator pedal position sensor, air fuel ratio sensor, etc. Kia added ADAS functions on 2022 and newer Niro and 2022 and newer Sportage. So it's the front radar calibration and the front view camera calibration on the Niro. And 2010 to 21 Sportage added new components: fuel pump, ignition coil, camshaft position sensor, and more. So lots of good availability right there for the got a component test. Land Rover 2024 and newer Discovery Sport 1.5 partial PHEV, so the plug-in hybrid, I guess. Added functions: 12-volt system power down, DMTL pump run. We talked about that earlier. Fuel tank smoke test, misfire cylinder identification, set HEV operation mode, and OBD2 readiness tests. And then Mazda has a 2014 to 18 Mazda 3 blind spot monitor static calibration, 16 and newer CX3 electrical supply unit module, and 24 and newer M3 and CX30 the transmission control module function. So that's helpful. Guided component tests, 12 to 21 CX5 2.2 diesel added these new components here. So cam position sensor, exhaust gas recirculation valve, etc. 2006 to 2025 Nissan Qashqai, 29 added components, including CV continuous variable valve timing solenoid, electronic control module of the engine, evap emissions purge solenoid, ignition coil, mass airflow sensor, etc. Vauxhall and Opel, as far as vehicle communication stuff, 2025 Frontera, new modules added. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different new modules added, including electric and hybrid drivetrain supervisor ECU, electric power steering, sequential gear level, and more. And then 2003 to 2025, multiple models, multiple vehicles through there. That's a good 22-year swath. Cam and crank position sensor, EGR valves, heated exhaust gas sensors, turbo boost controls, etc. So if you didn't have it available before, especially on an older car, you probably have it available now. Peugeot 2015 and newer multiple models, new modules added. This is scan tool side of things. So diesel fuel additive pump, vehicle distance assistance, trailer hitch module, engine wiring housing, electric secondary brake, etc., etc., etc. And then as far as guided component test, 2010 and newer multiple different models, new components including all of the ones listed on the screen. So EGR stuff, glow plug, heated exhaust gas oxygen sensor, turbo boost pressure sensor, and more. Renault 2024 and newer Scenic E-Tech, new modules added: a battery management system, climate control, DC to DC converter, heat pump controller, etc. Skoda 2019 and newer Kamiq, added modules for transmission, brake electronics, and adaptive cruise control. I think in that case, there's some new engine variants that are in there as well that are covered, or different variants of these modules that are covered in there that were not covered previous. And let's see, 34 new components added on the guided component test side of things, including the EGR, diesel electronic throttle control motor, fuel pump, fuel rail, pressure control valve, etc. Toyota 07 to 22 RAV4, 47 new components added, including accelerator pedal position sensor, air-fuel ratio sensor, fuel lid lock and motor assembly, fuel injector, fuel lid opener switch, fuel pressure sensor, and more. Volkswagen 15 to 25 Passat 1.4-liter PHEV, new components added, including continuously variable valve timing solenoid, crankshaft position sensor, data link connector, fuel rail pressure control valve, throttle positioner motor, and more. And then Volvo 2025 and newer V90, new modules added, battery energy control module, inverter generator module, forward-looking radar and inverter rear axle drive module, and 2025 and newer CX90, battery energy control module, forward-looking radar, PSCB, VCU1, WPC, and OBC and elemental P. All right, how about some user enhancements to the tool? That's always nice, make things a little bit more usable for you. As far as security link enhancements are concerned, so used to be, if you would be trying to access a vehicle that uses auto-off, and you changed your auto-off password for some reason, and you did not update your password in the Snap-on system, then you're going to get an error, and you get this mysterious error code, right? So now, and this is on Windows tools only at this time, now all you have to do is just enter your updated credentials, and then it will now add those credentials to your Snap-on account, so you don't have to, it'll just log you right through. Pretty helpful. Makes it a lot easier, and it works like very, very quick. All right. Also, these updates were done not necessarily for the spring update, but they were done since the last time I spoke about software. So these are around November time that these were made. So on Altus Drive, you see we have login to see your files, create individual account if you don't have an account, and then also manage existing accounts. So if you want to go in and manage like your things like your device management, security link information, and more, that will bring you right to here, so you don't have to go through multiple steps to get there through your Altus page, right? Also added recently were these 9 boxes up here. When you open that, it will give you a listing of multiple Snap-on sites. I believe it's going to be region specific, so you're probably not going to see Shop Here Pro Demand, but gives you a link to different Snap-on sites where you can just log in from there. So you can just access through the different the different portals without having to leave and come back and leave and come back, right? So it makes it just that much easier to switch between. All right, let's go live on the tools. I got a couple more things to talk about after we're done here. I'm done with that, but we'll go talk about the tools first. So first vehicle I have for you is the Land Rover Discovery. So let's open that up, and that is in Scanner. Please ensure battery voltage of vehicle is kept about 12.75 volts for the duration of the diagnostic session. It can cause communication problems if not. That's good to know. And then verify the vehicle. And so the DMTL is going to be under engine. And then it'll be under functional tests and special functions. And you will see it is not there. Right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 different tests available. And this is on the fall software, right? 25.4. So let's come over here to our updated software. Load the same vehicle. And what do we see? Okay. Going to engine. Continue. Functional tests, special functions. And there it is right there. Diagnostic module tank leakage pump run. So this application will perform a fuel system leak test by generating pressure within the tank while performing a visual inspection. This application will determine if the fuel system has any leaks within it by generating a positive pressure within the tank. This will then monitor this against the reference to the ECM over a given time period to determine if a leak is present. If a fault or DTC is present or suspected, an approved hydrocarbon detector should be used to test the system for leaks and consult their topics, which is their factory. So, all right, and then you hit it, and it's going to, first thing it's going to do is a battery voltage test, and since I am on simulation mode, I am not going to see 12 volts. that brings us back to, you always need to make sure that you can match any of the functions that need to be done, like battery voltage or hood needs to be open or whatever the manufacturer specifics need to be to do a test. So in this case, it's too low, so it would not allow me to do the test, and we're going to abort. Looks like there's a few more available in here as well. I didn't really compare both lists, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4 is 24. So that means I have 4 new tests in here overall on the 2024. Just didn't call it out specifically. All right. Next one, the Kia Sportage. So that's going to be a radar. Continue. And we'll go down here, go to front radar, and you'll see its codes and data. No functional tests available. Go over here. Pull up our Sportage. Okay, go down to radar, and there is system tests right there. You can go in, we have radar sensor alignment. So it's necessary to correct radar sensor of SEC AEB system for optimizing the function of that system operation. This needs to be done when the radar sensor is replaced, when a minor collision has occurred to the sensor or its surrounding area received a strong impact, when a vehicle at the front was not recognized while driving, when the radar sensor correction DTC has occurred. Should be no DTCs, ignition on. Let's see how far it lets me go. Check tire pressure, stop the vehicle on empty. When the radar sensor is replaced, that's what we need to make sure we do. And then you have to plug in a bunch of stuff. So yeah, so the radar sensor and the target. So you're going to have to enter the distance of the target. So you simply go in here and edit, type in your distance and hit OK, and then walk your way through that. So it's not going to let me get too far, I don't think. Yeah, so it has to be between 100 to 380. But you would go through, you'd enter the measurements as requested, and then you would be able to do this alignment. All right, and then got 2 more for you. We have this Transit Connect, and we're going to guided component tests. So 2023 Transit Connect, and we wanted to look at engine coolant temperature sensor, and we'll see there is no location image there, right? So anything I would have pulled up is not going to have a location image in this software because we just added them, right? But so we see that is the engine coolant temp sensor on the 23 Transit Connect. So then let's pull up this one. Pull up our 23 Transit Connect. And engine coolant temperature sensor, and there's my location image. Right, so there's a location image there. There's a few other things too. I'm just going to go through a few of them. See if it has it. I know there's a few more on this particular vehicle. I just don't remember what other components it was. Crank position, nope. Throttle motor, there we go. Throttle motor's over there. Sensor should have a similar image, yep. Let's see, ECM perhaps? Nope. Okay, we did coolant temp sensor. EGR, nope. Fuel temp, yep. Got one there. It's kind of in the middle. Glow plugs, probably not. Oxygen sensor, yep, we got one of those too, down the front right there. Let's see about mass airflow sensor. Yep, got one for that too. All right, lots of different images. If you pull up a vehicle and it has images, usually it's going to be multiple images associated to that particular vehicle. Now, last one's going to be 2025 Opel Frontera. All right, I'm going to come back to my other software. And we're going to go in a scanner. And we're going to pull up Opel. And we're going to pull up 2025. And then we're going to go in here, manually ID it, and no Frontera, right? Nothing there. Has all these other different models available, but no Frontera. So we go to our other updated software. And we pull up the Frontera because it's now available. I'm going to scanner. And now we have all the components for the Frontera. So it wasn't available in the fall software and before. Now it is available in the spring software, completely added there. So that's if you couldn't work on those before, now you can. Pretty great. All right. So a couple more things to talk about, like I said. How about when can I get this? When is the software available? Well, guess what? It's already available. Started downloading on March 30th, so you may very well have it by the time you're seeing this. But it downloads to our subscribed customers first, and we roll it out in waves just so we don't overload the system, right? So available starting March 30th. Just make sure you leave your tool on, and it should give you a little pop-up if you're on a Windows-based tool or on a non-Windows-based tool with over-the-air updates. You would have the download button there or the download icon there when it's downloading. If you see that icon, leave it plugged in, let it download, and then it'll turn into a check mark when it is time to install. Also, we have a brand new from the ground up software coverage guide. So if you want to find out more about what is in this software, you want to search by vehicle, year, make, model, all that stuff, module even, what are the capabilities in the modules. So everything you need to know about the software all in one place. Highlights by OEM, including new guided component test search as well. So I thought that was a big deal because we didn't have that at all worldwide. We didn't have a guided component test search. Pretty much had to go into the guided component test and look. So I think that's pretty big. What's new? Snap-on exclusives, payment options, platform accessories, search in here as well, which is another thing that they added. So if you wanted to find what accessories work with my tool, you can go in under the platform accessories guide and then look it up by tool. So I think that's a welcome resource as well. So with that, that is our spring software overview. Like I said, this is just a high-level overview. There's no way I'd be able to talk about every single little thing that is in this new software. So best thing to do is hook it up, check it out, and walk through. Or you can go to the software site, right? So with that, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. Have a nice night, and take care.